Good afternoon, this is John Sharada, and welcome to my Action Research Project, The Positives and Negatives of Leveraging Technology in the Classroom. As an educator, there are many benefits and drawbacks to moving away from the traditional direct instructional model of teaching and transitioning towards a technology-based instructional approach to your classroom. The purpose of this study was to identify the positives and negatives of technology-based instruction and its effects in and out of the classroom. The study investigated the following in two different groups: students aged 13 to 18 years old and teachers aged 21 to 55 years. This study utilized data collected from teacher surveys, student surveys, teacher questionnaires, student questionnaires, and research knowledge from various cited sources. The research shows that students and educators alike find using technology in the classroom to be useful, engaging, and a great way to develop student-centered learning opportunities. However, the data will also show that this success depends on educator knowledge of the technological resources, proper implementation of resources, and proper management of a classroom focus on utilizing technology for learning. Technology in education has been one of the fastest growing and biggest changes in teaching we have seen in a very long time. For many years, teachers, administrators, parents, students, and policymakers have weighed the possible positive outcomes and the potential issues that technology in the classroom can pose on student success. However, as educators move forward with the use of technology at the primary, secondary, and post-secondary level, the debate still stands as to whether the education system is fully benefiting by moving away from the traditional direct instruction model and moving towards a more technology-based instructed education system. Statement of the problem. The use of technology in the classroom has been an educational debate for many years now. The traditional method of direct instruction or teacher-led instruction has begun to take a backseat to the modern methods of blended instruction or technology-based instruction. However, there are issues surrounding the technology-based instruction, such as variances in instructional time, distractors, instructor technological knowledge, and the lack of professional development for staff, lack of IT support, and equity of technology at home for students. As we move towards an education system that focuses on the use of technology in the classroom, are we prepared to navigate the many challenges that come with technology-based instruction? If so, what are the main issues educators are combating today within their digital classrooms, and how will we begin to master the implementation of technology-based instruction? In my first lit review, Devlin, Feldhaus, and Bentram concluded in their research that though the use of video-guided instruction had shown strong student engagement within the classroom, there were questions surrounding the level of each student and teacher's technology literacy. The evidence found in the research and previous knowledge known prior to the study supported the argument that incorporating technology in the classroom and using it as an instructional tool enhances student engagement and has shown great student outcomes. However, as technology continues to advance, teachers and schools will need to keep up with both the understanding, training, and utilization of the most up-to-date technology resources in order to help develop technological literacy for their students. Klopfer, Osterwell, Groff, and Haas examine how the use of gaming, social networking, and simulation software can be assets to a teacher in the modern classroom. However, the group determined that though the use of the above technology can leverage learning opportunities, allow for deeper questioning, and enhance student engagement, it was crucial that the educators understand how to use these tools and platforms before implementing them in the learning process. The team determined that educators that utilize technology and multimedia methods in daily practices can create relevant lessons and hold student engagement. However, if teachers are stepping into the realm of becoming a technology-based classroom, they must understand how to utilize and appropriately navigate the software, programs, or technology that they will be then teaching to their students and having them use on the daily practices. So we're looking at, will there be similarities between direct instruction and technology-based instruction when looking at student engagement, lesson comprehension, student outcomes, and social-emotional learning? Or will we see that the use of technology in the classroom, there will be great differences between direct instruction and technology-based instruction when looking at student engagement, lesson comprehension, student outcomes, and social-emotional learning? 54 students participated from grades 9 through 12, the largest input coming from grade 11. 9 teachers, though I was hoping for more, gave me input, mostly coming from grades 9 through 12. The following are my surveys. My research design: quasi-experimental, single subject research, looking for quantitative, and I was looking for a correlation between student success and failures due to the use of technology in the classroom. Didn't have really one set of control group. It was a one-shot case study, trying to hit as many as I could to compile data. There's no post-test. It was a group data collected from both the student and teacher perspective and input. Threats to my internal validity: mortality. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, students have already been discharged from the traditional classroom setting and moved to remote learning practices. In this transition, the attendance rate has dropped 5 to 10% per class of mine. So students were already falling off, knowing that they would have to go on to full online learning and the difficulties that may come with it. This is just a little extra data to say that this is already happening in my classroom. Selection, maturation, interaction. The students surveyed fall into the group of 13 to 18, while the adults fall in between 24 to 50. I knew I was going to have a wide range of opinions, answers, perceptions, and input. Instrumentation. Several students have difficulty reading English. I work with a large population of ELLs. Externally, the ecological validity. Many students in this research have low socioeconomic backgrounds and generally produce low test scores on standardized tests. They don't usually do well on surveys, and or sometimes if they're just not into it, they kind of run through it like average teens. The repeated use of testing at my site. Students in this research are constantly given surveys during their school week from their peers, their administration for school data, and or given online tests weekly throughout various coursework. So I was worried that my survey kind of got lost in the shuffle, or they just didn't want to do it because it's just one more survey already on the many that they do per week. Reactive arrangements, participation effects. Students tend to change their thoughts and opinions over time. Perceptions and opinions may change when asked more personalized questions surrounding their individual academic ability, achievement, and post-secondary goals. This may also be due to certain groups of students gaining more knowledge on how to use the technology for their individual learning before being instructed to do so, working with strong technology students and those that lack the skills. Implications. Though I feel there are more that could have been written down, these are definitely the largest ones. Large ELL student population. Some students may have difficulty reading surveys or answering questionnaires with great success. A larger number of teacher data is definitely needed on multiple grade levels, especially 9 through 12. A wider range of teacher data needed from the various grade levels would help. More time is required. Further research is definitely needed. If anything, I have begun a strong foundation to understanding the larger question at play. We need deeper assessment, I believe, in classroom, working with units both not technology-based in comparison to those that are purely technology-based. And a student-teacher panel discussion board of the research topic could help teachers understand how learning through technology-based instruction is for their students. It would have given me a better insight to see the pros and cons from both sides verbally, and to see the answers teachers gave students on how to enhance their learning and really understand if teachers really knew the stress and or level of technology literacy that their students did or did not have. My procedure by date. So, two things we're going to look at greatly. Out of all the questions, I compiled to really want to know what are the students' major distractors when utilizing computers all day long for all their coursework, all their homework, and for their testing. And I also wanted to know, in comparison to what the teachers felt that the distractors were. And then we'll be looking at the availability for cheating on examinations and coursework due to the use of technology in the classroom. So the major distractions during instruction. Teachers felt that messenger apps, Spotify music, and online gaming was the root of all evil and the hardest thing for them to disengage students from and get them more engaged in the lesson at hand. Online gaming, as we see, and I'm sure we can say for many of our schools that utilize technology on the daily, that online gaming has and always will be slightly an issue. but it's a large amount of students that are probably being distracted by being able to get onto these online gaming sites. Now, when we look at the students' perception, major distractions during instruction, they honestly said that online gaming was only 20% of students agree that that was the issue. A lot of them felt that YouTube and Spotify, movies, TV shows such as Netflix, and apps like that were really what was causing them to be distracted. The availability to get on YouTube whenever they wanted, being able to get on the Netflix during school hours on the school computers, and or being able to use Spotify throughout their classes. If they weren't using the computer, they had music playing. So a lot of the distractors from the student's perspective are those three major takeaways. So us teachers got to pay attention. There's a little bit more going on here, and things we should be watching out for, or maybe getting the IT guy involved. When we're looking at opportunities to cheat during examinations and assessments, out of the 9 teachers, almost 80% of them said that there's complete opportunity for cheating. In students, out of 54 students, just about 60% agree that they can cheat on examinations and assessments. So it's the job of the instructor to not only monitor their classroom traditionally, but also to make sure they have monitoring services on their computer so they can watch what's going on student screens while they are walking around taking assessment. More targeted research is needed to determine the correlation between student success rate and the use of technology in the classroom. More targeted research is needed to determine the correlation between student cheating and the use of technology in the classroom. I want to dive deeper into that, and I think we all should. There's no findings of the relationship between student success and the use of technology in the classroom. Those students in my survey, 80% of them felt that they really loved going to a technology-based school and would not want to go back to a traditional high school where they did not use any sort of technology or one-to-one computers. Teachers also agreed that they loved working in a technology-based school that utilized technology on the daily. You determine that technology use in the classroom does lead to distractions caused by both entertainment and social networking platforms and websites that are attainable while at school during classroom hours. Teachers felt that college did not prepare them to teach in a digital classroom setting on the daily, and many are self-taught or have had mentorship by an innovation leader or mentor. 90% of the teachers that completed the survey felt that the use of one-to-one computers in the classroom allowed for cheating on both homework and classroom examinations. So that's only out of 9 teachers. I really wonder what I could have gotten if I had 20 or 30. And I determined that the biggest online distractors from the teacher's perspective to be online gaming, Spotify, and messaging apps. But as we saw, those are just part of the problem. So it is determined that there are distractors. There are issues at the foundational level of technology literacy and a necessity for technology-based learning to have its need for professional development for staff just as much for students if we truly want to focus on going technology-based. However, as we saw in the research, there's definitely a need to dive deeper in both the student and teacher side to better understand how to properly implement, utilize, and structure the use of technology in the modern classroom. Thank you for your time and have a great day.